Hello and welcome. In this video I'm going to give my review of this, what's it called? Desert Lightning palette from MAC Cosmetics. It's one of the two palettes from their new electric something collection. There is also lipsticks, lip glosses, blush/highlighter palette, at least those. But this palette was definitely the one for me. I ordered this from ASOS maybe a month ago, and now I saw this whole collections in sale here in Finland, and now it's been popping up in Instagram everywhere, so I think it's now launched pretty much everywhere. But let's get into this. In this review I'm going to show you two different kind of looks. This look and more day appropriate, office appropriate look that I created with this palette, and also of course swatches of this palette. And now that I've been using all of these shades and I've been using them multiple times, I definitely have some thoughts about this palette. But without further ado, difficult word, let's get into it. Let's start from the obvious, the package. There's no deny, it's gorgeous. It's plastic, and this is matte, and then this lightning is golden, this kind of metallic, and on the background there is just short description. Inside the palette you get a huge mirror, which is very clear and sharp mirror, which is of course a bonus. There is this plastic sheet where there is these names of the shadows. I personally appreciate this kind of things, although usually people don't, but I think it's more classy when there is not the names printed in this. I don't know why, but I think it's more elegant way to do it. If you're interested about the shade names, you can store it somewhere, and if you're not, you can just throw it away, so no problem. And if you are a person who is traveling, this is quite good protecting the mirror, and you can just take it off when you're doing your makeup, so I prefer it this way. This is the cooler of the two palettes. The other one is more goldeny, more brownish tone. As you can see, this is still quite warm. There is this kind of warmish tones, but this is definitely cool tone palette, and if you have followed me any time longer, you know I'm a cool toned girl. There is only 4 mattes. These 3 are mattes, and then this black one here is matte as well. I'm sorry, I just lost my fake nail 5 minutes ago, so let's ignore that. These 2 mattes here, these are very, very hard pressed and well stiff, and there's not that much pigment. I think I'll show you the swatches here so you can see, especially the lightest shade, which is called Desert Lightning. In my skin tone you hardly can see anything. When I'm do my lighter look, you can see that it does give a little bit of color, but not much. So basically this is more like setting powder when I have put my concealer on or eyeshadow primer. But the other 2 matte ones, the mauve toned, which is called marzipan, and then the deep dark, which is brune, these do have more pigment, especially this black one and the deep dark one. They have a lot of pigments. As you can see, for example, this look is quite dark, so there is a lot of pigment if you want that. There is also variety in the shimmers. There is different formulas in the shimmers as well, which for me is a great thing, as I'm not especially a shimmer kind of girl. As I have hooded eyes, I feel that most of the times shimmers just get wasted on my eyes, as you cannot see. But I love the shimmery kind of touch in my looks. And in everyday life, this is the kind of shimmery shadows I like. And it's been surprisingly hard to find this kind of palette lately, as those blinding shimmers are so popular nowadays. But as you can see in the swatches, there is definitely differences. The lightest one, Fresh Innocence, is not so very pigmented, but it's perfect on inner corner. And then there is these two bluer shades, which are very beautiful, both also used dry, but you really get more pigment if you use them wet. And then there is these 5 other difference. There is 2 more golden kind of shades, and then there is 3 more kind of brownish coppery shades. But all of these are still kind of cool tones. So yes, there's not so much variety in the color selection. There is basically cool toned browns and coppers, and then there is 2 bluish tones and a black, and that's it. But for me, it's a perfect combination. I've been wearing this palette so much lately for everyday effortless uses. At this point, I think we'll go and see the 2 looks I created. So the first one is my kind of everyday look. I always prime my eyes with concealer. This time it was the Revolution concealer, and then I used just average light pink toned eyeshadow to set that concealer. But let's go to the looks, and then I get my final thoughts about this palette. First I take the marzipan, the mauve toned, and create my crease to my hooded eyes. And then I take that brown shade, Brune, just deepen up the outer corner a little bit. And this needs a little bit of blending, as the brown shade is quite pigmented. Next step is retrospect shade to the inner corner. It's the lighter, not the lightest, but the second lightest shimmery shade, and a little bit of fool's gold to the center. And on outer corner I add just a little bit of the darker shade golden brown, just to give a little bit of dimension. And on lower lid I add a little bit of marzipan, and that's pretty much the look. I took the time, it took me 4 minutes to create this look with all the steps, so nothing very difficult to do. For this evening look, I start again with the shade Marzipan, the mauve tone. I'm sorry about the angle, I was a bit in wrong position. Then I add the Brune as it is, and as you can see, it is kind of patchy, but it's mainly because it's very pigmented, and I'm being very careful because I know I can make a mess really easily. So I slowly blend this shade to my crease and create the shape I want to this look. And then I smudge it with using the Marzipan shade, so I get the nice gradient to the look. And a little bit of deepening again with the Brune shade, so just to give the dimension. And then I take first the Dua Bandita, the duochrome shade, which is gorgeous, and this I'm using wet. Earlier I used my brush only dry. And in this point my video stopped filming, but I have used also So Shaded, the light blue shade on my inner corner to give that dimension. Now I add the black shade, Is It the Beat, to the outer corner to deepen the shade. And then on lower eyelid I use shade Brune. I rarely use black shade to my lower lid, it's just too harsh. And I blend it with using the Marzipan shade. Then I add Fresh Innocence to the inner corner and the look is finished. So that's it, the look. The one you see on my other eye, it's a bit darker that I just did. It was my experiment, so you can also get that kind of just a slightly deeper look. So as a conclusion, I really love this palette. The package is perfect. The shadows, although these do not perform in perfect manner, they do lack pigmentation. They are easy to use, of course, but there's not that much pigment. But I don't actually mind, because the point of this palette, at least for me, is the shimmery shades, and these two are only just kind of the background, the canvas for these other products to shine. So that is actually why it is so easy to use. So I just create a tiny shade with this mauve tone Marzipan, and then add shimmer shade, any of these, and I'm good to go. And it's just easy as that. So this is why this eyeshadow palette is so perfect for me. I'm almost tempted to get the other one, although I'm not a golden tone person, but well, that said, I used to say I'm not a peachy tone person, and then things happened. So who knows, maybe I need to go and swatch it in store now it is available here in Finland. But here's my thoughts, short and sweet. Well, we'll see how short it will be. But I really recommend this if you want an easy everyday palette. If you look forward to blinding shimmery shades, glitter and metallic sheen and everything, forget this. This is not for you. But I will for sure keep using this, and this is already one of my most loved eyeshadow palettes ever. If you have any questions about this palette, let me know in the comment section. If you have any requests for the videos, as usual, contact me in the comment section, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Yeah, that's about it. I hope you have now a great day, and see you next time. Bye bye.